Hello. I've been really missing our time together for Read Aloud, and I know we're in the middle of Old Willow's Place, but I don't have a copy at home. So what I do have is Victoria's picture book that she got the first time she went to a zoo, and I thought I would share it with you today, considering that we're learning about zoos. And it's called My Visit to the Zoo. It says, I didn't really want to visit the zoo. I had been to one that made me feel sad. The animals were all cramped, in small, empty cages that looked sad too. But my cousin said the zoo was different, so I came along and had the surprise of my life. Look at this, look how big it is. This zoo was like a rambling park with trees and lakes. There were houses where the animals could sleep and eat, and outdoor habitats where they roamed free as they would in the wild. See, this is a difference between a traditional zoo and a conservatory zoo. Animals from all over the world were here in one zoo. We laughed as we planned our route on the map. I told my cousin it was like a walk through geography. Like a walk through geography. A flock of flamingos. Here are the flamingos over here. A flock of flamingos greeted us on our way to the primate house. There, all kinds of apes and monkeys entertained us outside and inside. We heard the gibbon's loud call even before we saw them. The gibbon leaps and swings like a gymnast. They are fun to watch, aren't they, monkeys? It has long arms and grasps with its hands and feet. You can tell a gibbon is an ape because apes have no tails. Most monkeys have tails. The spider monkey's tail is long. It can grasp it like a hand. So they use it like as another way to climb. See how happy they are being in a habitat with lots of trees and natural foliage? Other monkeys have tails, like the friendly monkey-like lemur. He was too busy to notice us. Big baboons live on the ground in rough, rocky places. They walk on all fours and carry their young ones piggyback style. When I was growing up, you could go to Great Adventure and drive the car through the safari, and the baboons, they were crazy. They ripped off my windshield wiper. It was insane. We went into the misty tropical rainforest where many primates live. It was muggy and noisy with the clamor of natural sounds from the birds, the insects, the frogs, and flowing water. I closed my eyes and just listened. See that? So pretty, right? We found out at the zoo that many animals are endangered in the wild. They're bred in zoos to prevent the species from dying out. Then, when a safe environment is found, they are set free. That's cool, right? The gold lion tamarin was nearly extinct. Now dozens that were raised in captivity survive in the wild. Over at the great apes, everyone was looking through a window laughing. Apes are so much like people. They're fun to watch. The chimpanzee is the most curious and intelligent of them all. Families of chimps played and groomed each other affectionately and dug for honey and seeds that their keeper had hidden for them. So this is what we've been learning about too, right? Where they take animals that would have been extinct and they let them reproduce and then return them to the wild. But as we learned yesterday in our Google forum, Lily and I were having a conversation, not all animals that are bred in zoos can be returned to the wild. So that is something, but as long as they're trying to put some back, I think that we should celebrate that. And here are the chimpanzees. They're so cute. A troop of busy gorillas watched us as we watched them romp with their zoo-born twins in their jungle habitat. Apes and other animals have been studied in the wild where they live. That is how we know so much about them and their environment. We went from the great apes to the great cats. Cats have sharp teeth because they're carnivores, and they have beautiful coats for which too many have been hunted. The cheetah was quiet, but when it runs, it's the fastest cat. The tiger is the biggest. It stalks silently through the forest, hunting alone. Unlike other cats, it loves water. In nature, the rare snow leopard climbs icy mountains with its padded paws. Here, one climbed ledges and hunted for food that was hidden in nooks. See, that's another difference, right? When we were watching that video about the zoos in India, remember they just had slabs of meat and they just threw them on the concrete. Here at the Bronx Zoo, you're seeing that they hid them in nooks and crannies, and it says they have to hunt for their food. So they have to look for it. It's not just thrown there. At night, it sleeps in a cage built into a cool hill. A lioness played with her cub as a lion dozed on a nearby rock. Lions like hot weather, so when it's cold, the rock is heated for them. Other big cats, were resting or asleep too. That's how they spend most of their time, just like a house cat, right? They love to sleep. Some of you have cats at home, so you may know, although I'm sure your house cat probably doesn't like to go in the bathtub. We rode the monorail around the open plains where many of the big cats live. There was plenty of space for other animals and birds too, like a flightless ostrich, the biggest of all birds, ran past. We saw herds of grazers, such as zebra, antelope, and gazelle. They all have hooves. Oh, I know someone who has hooves, Mr. Norman. And sturdy legs and are fast runners. Okay, sturdy legs, probably not. Fast runner. Sorry, Norman. No. The tall giraffes are the lookouts of the herds, and fast runners too. One reached leaves tucked into a browse tree while baby waited. Oh, I love giraffes so much. I love them. The only hungry wild animals we fed were ourselves. Every other animal has its own special diet prepared by a nutritionist. Each animal has its own keeper who feeds it and looks after it. As we ate, I thought about feeding thousands of mouths a day. Imagine ordering and preparing tons of food morning, noon, and night. Imagine the awesome shopping bills. Yes, I can, because before this whole corona, I was not shopping crazily, and now I have. Everyone played affectionate at elephants, especially the baby guarded by his mother. The African elephant is the biggest land mammal with large ears that are in the same shape as the continent of Africa. In the wild, these animals are endangered by poachers who hunt them illegally for their long ivory tusks. The Asian elephant is rounder and smaller. Close by was the thick-skinned rhinos. They're hunted to near extinction right now for its long horns, but they're safe in the zoo. Then I saw meerkats, my cousin's favorite. They would dig a fast hole, burrow in it, climb out, and stand like guards with those serious dark eyes. I wanted to take one home, but I took a picture instead. Down a steep canyon, we saw slippery seals and frisky otters, and were even in time to see the sea lion show. All these graceful swimmers are fun to watch. You would think a 6,000-pound hippopotamus might sink, but it swims too. It spends much of its day sleeping in the water. At night, it wakes up and wallows around eating grass. Whoa, hippo, what a big mouth you have. There's a really cool hippo exhibit at the Camden Aquarium. It smells, though. It does. Okay. I thought a koala was a bear, but it's a marsupial. The mother has a pouch where her tiny newborn baby stays until it has grown big and strong. The kangaroo is a marsupial too. Marsupial. Hello, Mr. Schultz. It bounces around on strong hind legs like a wind-up toy. Joey and all. A Joey is what a baby kangaroo is called. How cute. Down the bear path, everyone was asleep except the long-clawed grizzly bear and the polar bear who was cuddling her cub. There are very few giant pandas in captivity, and they are endangered in the wild. They eat mostly bamboo, and their bamboo forests are disappearing. Uh-oh, this is what Lily's been talking to us about, right? As people move close to their habitats and destroy them. We stopped to watch water birds and turtles sunning piggyback on a log. Nearby, a waterfall flowed with recycled water. Nothing is wasted at this zoo. Paper, plastic, glass, and cans are all recycled. And there is not a straw or a balloon in sight. They are dangerous to wildlife if they are accidentally swallowed. In the reptile house, there were harmless snakes and venomous snakes, a giant lizard, and my favorite. Oh, you know who's going to love this next part? Max. A rare white alligator was there, floating in the water. The children's zoo was packed with things to see and do. There were animals to pet and touch, and a mouse house baked in the zoo. Oh, it was made out of gingerbread. Okay, makes sense. Friendly keepers answered our questions, and we even saw babies in the nursery. And there's a baby pig right here. Sure. See?
Oh, that looks so cute.
I love baby piggies.
I love it.
While we were grazing in the bookstore, the clock chimed. It was closing time, and we had not seen everything yet. My cousin promised we would come back next time I visit, and to think I almost stayed home because I didn't like zoos until I went to a conservatory zoo. So, the moral of this story, right, is that not all zoos are bad. We're not saying boycott zoos, don't ever go to a zoo. Just go to the right zoo where they put their animals first. We're very fortunate to live near two incredible zoos, the Turtleback Zoo and the Bronx Zoo. The Bronx Zoo, wear a comfortable pair of shoes because there's a lot of walking, but what a magnificent place. And they're doing so much for so many animals. There's also a really cool show on Animal Planet that shows you all the behind the scenes of the Bronx Zoo, and it really shows you like what goes into the love and care of these animals and how they're really trying to conserve species, not harm animals, not lock them away in cages. So if you are trapped in your house, which I think you might be, right, quarantined, you might want to think about watching that on Animal Planet because it's really, really worth your watching time. So I hope you enjoyed my visit to the zoo. And maybe we could do a different picture book every day because I miss reading to you guys. I miss it so much. I love you all. I'll see you at the Google Hangout, 9 o'clock. Bye-bye.